Before we get started with this video, I want to let you guys know about my Discord server. We're talking college basketball live games, just college basketball in general, bracketology, Q&As, all that stuff. Hit the link in the description to join the Super Celtic 24 Discord server. Sup guys, it's Alex here, and welcome to another edition of the Bracketology update. This one is for February 11th, and man, what a crazy week of college basketball we have had so far. Out of the top 10 teams, we have had 6 already lose, and it's only through Thursday's set of games. Number 1, Auburn lost. Number 3, Purdue lost last night. Then we had Houston, Duke, Kansas, and Texas Tech all lose. I can't remember which order they're in the AP poll, but I know those were the 4 teams that ended up losing. But we have had a crazy week of college basketball, and this is what I love. I love all these upsets. I love not having a true number 1 team. It makes it fun for the actual NCAA tournament itself. And man, it should be super fun to see what happens this Saturday. And we have a month to go until the actual tournament starts. And speaking of the actual tournament, I am bringing back the NCAA tournament ticket giveaway. We got that weird sponsored video over there for avocados. But if we hit 7,777 subscribers, we'll do some lucky 7s right there. If we hit that amount by Selection Sunday, I think we can do it. I will give away an NCAA tournament ticket. It'll be super fun. All you got to do to enter is take a screenshot of you being subscribed with post notifications on. Send that over to AlexPrice24 on Instagram. Let me know what your favorite team is, and then you're entered into the NCAA tournament ticket giveaway. I'll be giving away a first round ticket. And I'll have a video explaining, or I'll have a video where I draw the winner of that so you guys can see that there's no bias or anything like that involved. More details on how to enter will be in the description below, so make sure you are subscribed and you enter the tournament ticket giveaway. So then going back to the bracketology here, top overall seed is now Gonzaga after Auburn went into Bud Walton Arena at Arkansas and ended up losing. That is not a bad loss for Arkansas at all. It's more of a signature win for Arkansas more than anything. But losing there means that Gonzaga takes up back over that top overall seed. I think Gonzaga and Auburn are the clear top 2 seeds right now. First team out is Florida. They've just been kind of hanging around the bubble and will probably stay around the bubble for the rest of the season. Last team in is BYU. I believe they lost to Loyola Marymount last night. I may be wrong on that. They were losing whenever I went to bed, and I just didn't care to check the score and all that stuff. But BYU has not been very impressive at all this year. But taking a look here at the bubble, last 4 buys are Loyola Chicago, who are no longer the automatic qualifiers right now for their conference. I think Northern Iowa is, and I think both those 2 teams play this weekend to see who will be that automatic qualifier so far. I mean, obviously you got the conference tournaments that'll be at the end of February, but it'll be interesting to see kind of a temperature check on where Loyola Chicago's been. They've been kind of losing games they wouldn't expect them to. They lost to Bradley earlier this week, so we'll kind of see where they're at. Then we have Oregon, who's playing their way back into the field. Oklahoma, who got a huge win at home over Texas Tech, and then San Francisco. Last 4 in are Miami, North Carolina, Creighton, and then the aforementioned BYU. First 4 out are Florida, San Diego State, UAB, and then Memphis. And then the next 4 out are Belmont, St. Louis, Mississippi State, and Michigan, who got an absolute destruction of a win last night over Purdue. I think the final score was like 82-58 or something like that. That was what Michigan needed to get back on track. I mean, they still need more to get back on track, but hey, I believe it's a home game this weekend against number 16 Ohio State is a great way to play your way back into the field. So if we take a look at the movements here in the bracket, which I do want to mention, I will be going to both the first and second rounds in the Indianapolis regional, so I'll get to see the Purdue games and then the Kentucky set of games, so that'll be pretty fun. I mean, as of this bracketology, who knows what's actually going to happen in the NCAA tournament, and we still got a month to go. Both teams can start sucking by then. We'll kind of see what happens there, but that's just kind of where it's at right now. Taking a look, though, at the movement since Tuesday, we have Indiana down to a 9, Connecticut up to a 5, Texas Tech down to a 4, Marquette down to a 6, it's sad to see. Then we have San Francisco down to an 11. Then over there in the Midwest Regional, we got Michigan State down to a 5, Villanova up to a 4, Vermont up to a 13 as an automatic qualifier there, Wisconsin up to a 3 with that big win at Michigan State. That's why those 2 teams have been kind of flip-flopping there. Then we have USC down to a 7, Notre Dame up to a 10. Then over there in the East Regional, I don't know why I right-clicked there, we have Wyoming up to an 8. Wyoming has been crazy this week, or this season or whatever. I think they're out of the Mountain West Conference. They are putting together a very strong season. I think they've only lost like twice so far. And we have St. Mary's down to a 9, Alabama up to a 5, Chattanooga up to a 12, Toledo new to the field as a 13, Ohio State down to a 6, Loyola Chicago down to a 10. Then over there in the South Regional, we got TCU up to an 8, Colorado State up to a 9, Arkansas up to a 6 after that big win. I mean, hey, Arkansas was out of the tournament at one point back in, I think, like December, maybe early January. But that's how, I mean, they've won, I think, maybe 9 or 10 in a row, something like that, with a signature win over Auburn. That's how you play your way back into the field. That's kind of the blueprint for Michigan to get back into the field. And then we have Seton Hall up to a 7. So, as you guys know, every time that there's a new Bracketology, I give my predictions and play out the NCAA tournament based off of this bracket. And we're going to go ahead and get this show on the road this year, or for this Bracketology. But it will be different because recently we've had Auburn on one side of the bracket, Kentucky, who I think is playing the best basketball out of any team in the nation right now, on the right side of the bracket. But now they'll be on the same side, so it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens here. We'll have a new national championship game. And starting off, we're obviously going to have Gonzaga beat Colgate. Then I think that Boise State will be able to beat Trace Jackson Davis and Indiana. Then I'm going to go with my first upset pick here with North Carolina over Connecticut. I know North Carolina is not everybody's cup of tea. I mean, some people don't even believe that they should be in the tournament. But with Brady Manick starting to turn really good, and you got Baycott over there, I think that this team can turn it around. If they can make the tournament, I think they can make some noise in a classic 12-5 upset. So we're going to have Texas Tech moving on past New Mexico State, Marquette moving on past San Francisco, UCLA beating Montana State. Then we're going to go with an upset pick here and go with the 10-seed Murray State Racers over LSU. LSU did get back on the right track with the win over Texas A&M this week, but Murray State, I think, has a better team right now. They've only lost like 2 games this year as well. And LSU, I mean, even though they did win this past Tuesday or Wednesday or whenever it was, they still have lost 6 out of their last 8 games. And then Duke will beat Yale. And then for a spot in the Sweet 16, we got Gonzaga advancing on past Boise State, battle of the 2 West Coast teams there. Then we're going to have Texas Tech advancing past North Carolina. Marquette, I think I'm going to have spring the upset here, 6-3 over UCLA. UCLA is trying to figure things out right now. They did have that win over Arizona, but I think that both teams are really kind of in a figure-it-out moment right now. But I just believe in Marquette. I believe that they're a second weekend team to make some noise with an upset, and I think that this is a good place to do it. I got Marquette pulling off the 6-3. Then we'll have Duke advancing on past Murray State. Then for a spot in the Elite Eight, we got Gonzaga moving on past Texas Tech, though I'd love to see Texas Tech move on there, but that's not going to happen. Then we're going to have Duke here moving on past Marquette, which sets up Gonzaga versus Duke in the Elite Eight, and I am going to go with Gonzaga here in a battle of Chet Holmgren versus Paolo Banchero, probably 2 of the top 3 picks. I mean, Jabari Smith being the other one. I got Gonzaga advancing to the Final Four. So then moving down here to the bottom left regional, we're going to have Arizona beat Long Beach State. Then TCU, I think, can beat Colorado State. Then we are going to go with Tennessee moving on past North Texas, along with Houston here moving on past South Dakota State. Then we're going to have Arkansas moving on past the winner of Miami and Creighton, which I think would be Miami. Illinois moving on past Liberty. Then we're going to go with another upset pick here with the 10-seed Oregon Ducks playing really good basketball as of late. They'll beat Seton Hall, and then Baylor will beat Longwood. Then for a spot in the Sweet 16, Arizona will move on past TCU. Tennessee, I think, can beat Houston. Houston just lost to SMU. I think it was Wednesday night. I may be wrong on that one. But Tennessee, I think, can get the victory there. Then Arkansas and Illinois, 2 teams that I love this year, or that I've been kind of warming up on. I wouldn't say I absolutely love both teams so far this year. I hate to see both of these 2 teams facing off in the second round, but I will go with Illinois, the Fighting Illini here, moving on, though that is not a slight at all against Arkansas. It's just a matter of where they got matched up there. Then Baylor, I think, will beat Oregon. Then for a spot in the Elite Eight, we got Arizona here moving on past Tennessee in a rematch of their battle earlier this year. Tennessee, I think, won by 4 points at home on a neutral court. I think Arizona's going to win. Then we'll have Illinois advancing on here past Baylor to move on to the Elite Eight, and then I'm going to move Illinois to the Final Four. That team is playing really good basketball for extended parts of the season. They've been without Kofi Cockburn and Andre Curbelo, I think is how you pronounce his name. I mean, I may be wrong on that part, but I think that Illinois can make it here to the Final Four as a 3 seed. So then if we go over here to the bottom right regional, we're going to have Purdue advancing on past the winner of Norfolk and New Orleans. I think that St. Mary's is going to pull off the 9-8 upset over Wyoming. I'd love to see Wyoming win that one, but I don't think it's going to happen. Alabama will advance on here past Chattanooga, along with Texas over Toledo. Though Toledo is a team to keep an eye out on. I think if Texas had lost to Kansas earlier this week, I might have had Toledo spring the upset, but Texas proved that they can move on and beat good teams. Then I'm going to go with Ohio State here, moving on past Davidson. Providence advancing on past Wagner as well. Iowa beating Loyola Chicago in a battle of styles here. Iowa loves to score. Loyola Chicago loves to play defense and have games that finish in like the 50s. It'll be interesting to see kind of how that game shakes out. Then we'll have Kentucky advancing on past Appalachian State. Then for a spot in the Sweet 16, Purdue will move on past St. Mary's. Then I think that Texas will advance on past Alabama there. Battle of football powers. I mean, I don't know if you want to call it Texas a football power as of late, but that's a conversation for another day. Providence, I think, will be able to beat Ohio State, though I can see Ohio State pulling off the upset there too as well. And then Kentucky will beat Iowa. Then we're going to have Purdue moving on here to the Elite Eight, where they will face Kentucky. But as you guys know, Kentucky is playing the best basketball it's not 100%. Kentucky's playing the best basketball out of anybody, but they're playing as well as anybody in the nation. I think Kentucky will advance to the Final Four right there out of the bottom right regional. So we have a 1, a 2, and a 3 seed so far. Now we got to take a look at this last region. Auburn's going to beat the winner of UNC Wilmington and Southern, obviously. Then we're going to have Iowa State advancing on here past Wake Forest in a 9/8 matchup. Then I think that Michigan State will beat Iona, along with Villanova here moving on past Vermont. Though Vermont could pull off the 13/4 upset, I'd love to see it. Then we're going to have Oklahoma here advancing on 11/6 upset over Xavier. Wisconsin will move on past Northern Iowa. Notre Dame pulls off the 10/7 over USC, and then Kansas will beat Cleveland State. And then for a spot in the Sweet 16, we got Auburn advancing on past Iowa State. Michigan State, I think, will beat Villanova there in a 5/4 matchup. Wisconsin will move on past Oklahoma, and then Kansas will move on past Notre Dame. Then for a spot in the Elite Eight, I got Auburn here moving on past Michigan State. Then I'm going to go with a crazy pick here, at least crazy to me. I think that Johnny Davis and Wisconsin are going to pull off the 3/2 upset over Kansas. I think Wisconsin's playing really good basketball as of late. Kansas, their identity, they just haven't. I mean, they don't have an identity right now. I don't think they have a go-to guy. I mean, Abaji should be the go-to guy, but he's been taken out of games recently, especially late against Texas, where Texas went on a 9-0 run to close out the overtime game. I got Wisconsin advancing to the Elite Eight, but they will fall to Auburn here in the in the first spot in the Final Four. So in the Final Four here, we have Gonzaga versus Illinois. I got Gonzaga winning that one. I think Illinois is really good, but I think they're going to lose that battle, or the battle up top. I think Kofi Coburn's going to have a good day, but the rest of Illinois, I don't know. And then Auburn versus Kentucky. Those two teams have faced off in my national championship game for the past few bracketologies. I've kind of split it between Auburn and Kentucky. As much as I want to pick Kentucky to advance there, I don't know if I want to do it, because when was the last time we had, in our actual national championship game, the top 2 seeds from the tournament actually faced off in the national championship game? I feel like it's been a long time since that actually happened. I mean, I think it was last year. I think it was Gonzaga and Baylor. I don't know what I'm talking about at this point. I'm just spitting out words. Maybe it happened last year and I'm over here saying that it's been a long time. I don't know. But I do think that Auburn, even though they did just lose against Arkansas, I think that they can win that game. Though, I do want to point out, last time they played, Kentucky was up by 9 when Ty Washington got hurt. I know Kentucky fans love to bring it up, but I mean, it's a valid point. But I do think that Auburn will end up winning that game, which sets up Gonzaga versus Auburn here in the national championship. And I think Gonzaga is still going to have to wait for their first national championship under Mark Few. I got Auburn winning it, even though they did just lose at Arkansas. I think they played really good, and I think that they have the talent and the coaching with Bruce Pearl to win the national championship. So, thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of my predictions. Let me know your own predictions in the comments section below. Don't forget to join the Discord. Don't forget to enter the NCAA tournament ticket giveaway, and I will see you all later.